welcome to the ChatGPT Dad and Me podcast. My name is Yoni.
And I'm Dad.
This podcast is all about how a Gen X dad and a Gen Z son use AI in our everyday lives to basically transform the way we work, transform the way we gain knowledge. We both use it in very unique ways, and we're excited to share our journey. So let's dive in.
One thing I wanted to start with, just so everybody gets the journey a bit, is that the first commercial model of ChatGPT came out at the end of 2022. I started using it mid-year 2023, and Yon, when did you start using it?
Let's see, actually around early January 2024. So basically about a year and a couple months ago.
When we both first started, you're very tentative and you're not even sure what the thing is and what it does. But over time, as you interact more with ChatGPT and other AI tools, and you start to figure out what you need to do, how to get, I'll just call it performance, you have this sort of snowball effect, and you find yourself using AI and AI tools more and more in sort of everyday life. And everyday life includes, it's not just business stuff, but it's personal stuff. Last night, my wife and I went food shopping, and I bought a cheap, fatty cut of beef because I'm a low carb guy, and I wanted to know how to prepare it, and I was tired. So what did I do? I literally took a picture of the meat itself, and it had the writing on it, what cut it was. And I said to ChatGPT, just tell me some way to prepare this. I want to broil it. And it gave me this beautiful recipe. I didn't go to a website. I didn't do anything. I just took a picture of it, and ChatGPT gave me, what to do. And we still haven't broiled it yet. It's in the fridge.
We can get back to you about
We'll get back to that. But so you might be shrugging your shoulders and going, well, that's not a big deal. But when you think about it, it is, because now what's happening is what I did was I took the package itself, took a picture of it, and then just said, give me a suggestion, but I want to broil it.
Right. Like, think about if it were to be online, you would have to think about, like, what's the meat called? What type of recipe? The instructions wouldn't necessarily be as clear. It's just much more sophisticated. So this is the mindset we've come to, is like anything in life where we have a query about something, we just say, okay, well, there's this massive database that's able to speak to me and clearly, in my situation, tell me what to do. So I'm just going to ask it.
We have ChatGPT doing really sophisticated stuff related to our businesses.
Yeah.
So I have it doing, financial modeling, and I feed it data and then ask questions about the data that I feed in. And by the way, I want to mention here, using an AI tool doesn't mean you understand how it was built and how it works. We have no clue. Now, I'm a technical guy. I have a PhD in engineering. I'm not afraid of technical stuff, but one of the things that I also know is that I don't need to know how everything operates. Often what you need to know is how to be a good end user. So that's a lot of what we're going to focus on too, is how do you get these AI tools to do things for you that are really useful? One of the things that we wanted to point out too is, in some ways, like how sophisticated but also how natural the whole AI environment is becoming. One thing that just sort of blows your mind is the ability to actually just talk naturally to it and have it tell you things, give you answers, whatever. So it's sort of a fun thing. What we want to do was, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to introduce me. We want you to get a sense of where this is. And it's going to seem really weird, like that this voice that you're going to hear is ChatGPT. But in fact, that's how far the technology's come. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good, thanks. I was wondering if you could give the podcasting audience an introduction about me.
Sure. Steve Galen is an experienced PhD engineer with an extensive background in clinical trial innovation and oversight. He's co-hosting this podcast with his son Yoni, exploring the world of AI and their experiences with ChatGPT. Together, they're on a mission to demystify AI and highlight its practical benefits.
That was excellent.
Yeah. So to the audience right now, we're talking to ChatGPT. So that was, you could tell, it was sort of scripted. Like we said, come up with an intro, but now I'm just going to ask ChatGPT a question. ChatGPT, can you tell me at this point, from your perspective, Yoni and I are power users. Could you explain to the audience what a power user is in terms of using you?
Absolutely. A power user is someone who uses ChatGPT extensively and effectively, often exploring its full range of capabilities. They ask complex questions, integrate it into various aspects of their lives, and often experiment with different prompts to get the most out of it. It sounds like you and Yoni definitely fit that description.
Cool, thank you. So Yoni, he's not polite when he talks to ChatGPT. There was a really interesting study that was done, and it said that people who are polite get better answers. Now, like because you're nicer, you get better answers?
Right, like it doesn't care.
It doesn't care. What it is though is when you're nicer, you tend to provide more information and more context. And this is super important. With ChatGPT, okay, it's fixed in terms of its capabilities, but in the particulars of the thing that you're asking it about to help you with, the more context you give it, the better an answer you're going to get. I'll give you an example. There's analysis that I've had to do, and I just feed it documents. I just upload a whole bunch of documents, and I ask it a few questions so it's oriented around what I want it to understand about the data that I've uploaded. Then I start asking questions, and I get really good answers. As you get into this world and you start to explore what the capabilities are, you have these moments of, what? That is really possible? And then very quickly, because this is how human beings are, it ends up being a tool that you use on a regular basis. Right. So now like I carry this around and I just ask questions. If you thought it was, sorry, all right, I'm the Gen X guy, right? If you remember how weird it was to see people talking into boxes, this is even weirder. And I was telling Yoni this morning. When I was a teenager, no surprise, right? I was a big science fiction fan. And I still remember the story. There was a girl sitting on an airplane and she had a digital companion. It was like a little button or something. And she could talk to it and would talk back to her and all these things. And I just had this moment, in the past couple of days as I've started to use this functionality. I said, that's exactly what this is. The ChatGPT voice, it's not robotic at all. It's got inflection. You can choose different models, if you will. It's interactable. Like you feel comfortable talking to it. The point that we're trying to make though is that Yoni started in January 2024. I started the mid-year previous. We're now at the point where it's sort of fully integrated into everything that we're doing.
My father actually encouraged me. He's like, why not ask it? Like when I have a little benign task that could be made more convenient through ChatGPT, my father's encouraged me and he said, just ask the question, give it all the context and ask it. So I've started using more and more, and it's incredible how useful it's become.
And one thing that's probably going to come to everybody's mind is, well, geez, isn't this going to make us dumb in the long term, right? If all you have to do is ask questions. What it does is it shifts your focus and you're more focused on what it is that you want to accomplish as opposed to necessarily how you're going to get it accomplished. This ability to sort of ask questions and ask deeper questions and refine your thinking and refine your approach, it's super valuable.
Yeah. All right. Should we have ChatGPT end it off for us?
Sure. Hey, how are you? You back?
Hey there. Welcome back. How's everything going?
Good. So we're actually getting near the end of the podcast for today. So we thought it would be really cool to ask you to end off the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today on ChatGPT, Dad and Me. We hope you enjoy diving into the world of AI with us. Stay curious, and we'll catch you next time.
That was so good.
All right, everybody. So until next time.